Hello everybody out there and welcome back to another Dark Avenger Comic Book review coming at you super late.
Yeah.
And to be honest, we were debating about recording this today because tomorrow is New York Comic Con Special Edition, but after reading through all of these books, we decided to do it, get it over with. We've already got our new books. I've already started reading a few of the indies for the next episode because we're going to be super busy Saturday and Sunday at New York Comic Con Special Edition. Look forward to a lot of videos going up on Frontline depending on how many interviews we get. There will be random Instagram pictures. I'm telling you guys now, my phone has internet now, so I will be posting Instagram live as I'm taking the pictures. They will be going up on Instagram. Interviews will be live, tweets will be live, anything big that we find out that's breaking news, I will be tweeting it on my Twitter. I'll be posting pictures, like I said, on Instagram. So guys, keep your ears and eyes out on both Instagram and Twitter. I'll be trying my best to upload or to post things as often as I can. Not promising a lot for Twitter, mostly Instagram as I take pictures. If the frequency is low, as soon as I get into a good frequency area, I will be uploading
because the frequencies are crazy haywire over there.
And I wish I could do videos on my phone. I just don't trust my phone right now for that. I never tested the video quality on my phone out, so videos for YouTube will most likely all be on camera and all be uploaded the night of Saturday going into Sunday. As soon as we get home, we'll start uploading the interviews and stuff, so everything should be up ASAP.
Yep.
Enough of that. Today, episode 291.
Go ahead.
I don't wanna. I really don't wanna.
Show them. How many more episodes left to go? How many?
How many, Mike?
9 episodes left to go. Look at it. It's a smiley face. And now it's sad because you make things sad. How could you? That thing was smiling for you and you just go around and throw that? And the books that we will be talking about in this review were released on May 27, 2015, the last week of your birth month, May. You just can't get over that picture now, guys. Hey, you know, you said be creative.
Anyway, be creative. We did make some big strides. I'm going to save that. Dark Avenger Live 50, by the way, will be next Friday. As you can see, this Friday is already over, and we're doing the books. This week, for the amount of books, I feel like I'm going to be getting through these really quickly. For example, Hawkeye issue number 3. The children were detained by S.H.I.E.L.D. Kate didn't like the way the children were being treated. Maria Hill couldn't do anything and stressed that to Hawkeye, wink wink, and then says her hands are tied, but somebody else on the other hand's hands might not be. Basically hinting to Hawkeye and Kate to take the children because she apparently didn't agree with what was going on with them either. So this entire book was them retaking, saving the children for a second time. And then at the bottom of each page over here, thank God it wasn't a Nick Lachey advertisement, we were getting a flashback of Clint and Bart as kids. Instead of doing work on the circus, they actually sneak in and watched the entire performance and then got caught. So the kids are saved, and the flashback ends with Bart and Clint getting caught and then them paying the price for it, to be continued. Okay, now, Nick Bradshaw, not Nick Bradshaw, I'm doing really great tonight, pardon me. The previous volume of Hawkeye is not even out yet, the final issue. And we are already in issue 3 of the all-new Hawkeye. And this story is progressing about as fast as a snail crossing this table.
Wow.
It's taken a while. So far, in 3 issues, we see great chemistry between Kate and Clint. We know Clint has a hearing aid. We know that they went to Hydra to steal this secret weapon, which turned out to be these kids. And now they've stolen them for a second time from S.H.I.E.L.D. because they weren't treating them right. And we've been getting very interesting flashbacks about Clint and his brother as kids. That's it. 3 issues.
Wow. That's
I don't know. It is a first story arc.
Wait,
and
he has his hearing in the all new, right?
Right.
Oh, okay.
I mean, it is the first story arc. I will give it that. And yeah, you know, maybe we need, you know, to do this first and then move on.
Is that the Coney Island background?
I think so. It is.
Like
this is the New York variant cover, so that was
it
another
looked
reason
like
why I really like it.
Astroland or Luna Park, whatever they call it now.
It does. It looks like the
Yeah,
cycle. But anyway,
it just was the cover.
I'm hoping that after the first story arc, that the story progresses a little bit more, because right now I feel like this issue was basically cut and dry. As I explained it in less than a minute, that's how much it felt, how fast I felt reading the book, and I don't like that. I want a little bit more. I want a little bit more to Hawkeye, because
more adventure and stuff, or
sort of. The previous volume, I really enjoyed the pacing. Obviously, delays ruined that pacing, but at the same time, I was enjoying reading about Clint. In this book, I feel like they're getting their footing. We didn't get an ending to the previous volume yet, like I said, and the issues are going by really quickly. Hopefully, things will change. Nova issue 31. This is the final issue of Nova for now. I say for now because we don't know what's going to happen after Secret Wars. This goes into Secret Wars. We finally get the climactic ending. 31 issues later, Sam finally reunites with his father, saves his father, fights the Chitauri head. I'm not going to say what he does to him, but Sam wins. Or so we think. The last page leaves a humongous teaser for a possible follow-up volume. But anyway, Sam saves his father. Him and his father go back home. And the big little... I mean, I feel like this is already a week late, or 2 weeks late, because we're already in next week's, or this week's books. But the ending has Sam's father saying, you know, you did great, I'm proud of you, and the best thing of all, you didn't even scratch my helmet. And Sam's like, your helmet? ... question mark. And it kind of ends on a happy note, but it's kind of like funny because Sam doesn't want to give up being Nova, but now his dad's back, so now what? Because his dad was always Nova.
So it's going to be a little bit of a...
Either I see... Well, I'm not going to give predictions yet because we don't know what's going to happen after Secret Wars, but it looks like there's going to be a feud for the helmet if and when Nova...
Or a new costume change, you never know.
I don't know. This was an excellent series. I would highly recommend checking out all 31 issues as trade paperbacks if you haven't already. Went out. I mean, if you can find all 31 issues, go for it. Nova has been a really excellent read. I've enjoyed Nova from beginning to end. Even the annuals were really, really good. Hopefully at some point I'll be able to get a physical copy of Nova's last annual.
This I felt was a really unnecessary read. It's the first issue. Battle World Secret Wars Journal #1.
Again, this is a preview though.
Yes. I was going to say, understanding this is a preview, it's just that the stories I felt were, you know, like I felt that it was going to go on. But anyway, the first story takes place in England, where Kate is talking about the Punisher sheriff who uses all these magic orbs because of, you know, all the Secret Wars, and he's, you know, using all that power. I do like the artwork, though, I will say that much. And it's just about them just trying to, like, you know, not get caught by him. And they want the treasure that they want to steal. They get caught by the Punisher. I mean, who didn't see that coming? And they try to get out of there safely. And Kate she just knocks them all out, 1, 2, 3. And then, if you want to see more, you have to read Kate in Siege #1. It's like, why do I have to go out there and buy Siege #1 where I want more of a story? Like, I want to see more of that, and I felt disappointed that it ended like that. Then the second part of the story takes place in...
Egyptia.
Yeah, Egyptia, I think that's how you say it. And it just has, like, the X-Men side where, you know, it's just like a long dialogue where... Wolverine's in it, and they felt that he lost hope and everything, and, you know...
hey, look, there's an advertisement right here for New York Comic Con Special Edition.
Oh, that's right. I mean, here's some artwork, too, by the way. with the special edition. Thanks for pointing that
Who's
out.
gonna be there? Anybody we know? That we talked to? Charles Soule will be there. Oh, the Death of Wolverine, Charles Soule. We didn't actually get to talk to him last time.
Maybe I'll get a chance this time. So they encounter with these creatures in the cave, and the X-Men take them out because they're just, let's just say, yeah. So they're looking for also Khonshu or something, and they have a long dialogue with that one, and then if you want to find out more, definitely read the book, because I don't want to give too much away. So
it feels like it's a teaser book more.
If it just keeps doing that about checking out more into the issues, I might drop it, but we'll see how the next issue goes. It's a preview.
This book I'm going to be keeping for one more issue to see what's going on, but the Infinity Gauntlet, issue number 1. I got the Scotty Young variant because I wasn't sure if I was going to be keeping this book and if I was, as far as continuing it. But it did seem interesting. It's a poke-apocalyptic... Poke-apocalyptic...
It's not like poker face you were going to say.
This is horrible. I got to wake up for this. Okay. Post-apocalyptic world taken over by these gigantic bugs, as they call them. And there's this family that's fighting to survive in this time. And it turns out that the daughter, or the little girl's mother, was a Nova. And the Nova Corps called her to duty, and apparently the entire Nova Corps was destroyed by these bugs. So now everybody's fighting to survive. I don't understand how this is going on Battle World, but they're basically fighting to survive in their sector of the world. And you know, they're talking about their mom. There's a scene with some flashbacks about the mom. So it's very heavily dialogued about family and about what happened, and you know, little hints that you know the mom's going to come at some point, but then the bugs attack, and that's where a lot of hell breaks loose. But in the end, and I think very weirdly / conveniently, one of the girls, and not, I can't pronounce her name for the life of me, but Anwin, I'm going with Anwin, ends up in this little nest, so to speak, where there's this little, like one of the little bugs attacks her, and she just finally snaps and beats the crap out of it, and then she apparently finds one of the Infinity Gems. Very conveniently inside one of the bugs. That's what I said, And then, of course, spoiler alert, her mom returns in the end, and she's like, I'm sorry it took so long, but I'm back, and I'm sorry I'm late. And then Thanos makes his little appearance at the end. Half of me was like, okay, this was an interesting book. I definitely want to see a little bit more before I can make a definite judgment. And then the other half of me is like, this could be interesting. You know, this will be going on only for a little while. And as we see, Marvel will be not rebooting, but moving on. As Axel Alonso mentioned, it's not a hard reboot. They are just moving forward from Secret Wars and moving into the next chapter of Marvel Comics. So, in this next chapter, we're going to be seeing a lot of characters from Secret Wars show up or become mainstays. So this is an interesting story so far. Will I continue it? Yes, I'll grab issue number 2, see how things continue. If I enjoy it, I'll be continuing it. If not, there's a lot of books still coming. All the way through till August, there are new books coming. So, yeah.
Okay, Inferno, issue number 1, Secret Wars. I found this book to be really interesting. It really talks about Colossus, has a focus on him. And it's about his sister, I can't remember her name for life of me.
It's Magic, just say Magic.
Yeah, Magic, right, basically. And it talks about the origin story of how she became possessed by the demons. And, you know, yeah, so here's some artwork. This is really interesting artwork.
Ilanda? What was it, Ilana?
No, that's, yeah, Alanya. Alana, yeah.
Alanya, yeah.
So, yeah, so it shows that, and it shows, like, 364 days before, days later, after, all this happened, and, yeah, it's just like a whole, event that's going on there, and, you know what I don't like about this issue? There's just one thing. Cyclops being like Professor X on the like
paralyzed,
Professor X and
probably.
everything. Yeah. But I'm like saying, you know, aren't you the one that like killed Professor Xavier during the
Battle World? Remember?
But then yeah,
Sometimes
it's
didn't happen.
it's different and where you.
I'm
Oh,
gonna get on the drink.
so basically, they're just trying to like basically there's a whole thing going on with the Empire State Building, and then yeah, and there's like this whole big inferno that's going on with all these demonic beings and dragons that are just attacking them, and it's just the whole thing. And the Nightcrawler actually is more of the savior in this book that does mostly you know, all the work. And the ending, since this is a week over, let's just say he meets up with the group where Jean Grey leads, because the focus is a little bit more on Jean Grey.
So
and,
Jean is leading one team, and Scott's leading the
and
other.
it has Alex Summers also, so
Havoc.
Havoc also, and it looks a little bit different, Havoc. But then again, it's a different world. But wow, after Colossus met with that team and seeing what it does, wow. We're looking forward to reading issue number 2. Interesting, I will say that.
This book I'm bringing a special edition to get signed by Charles Soule. Inhumans Attilan Rising, issue number 1. This book I really enjoyed. This book is the first book that focuses on a resistance against Doom. And this group of people hops from sector to sector, trying to set certain things right and to build up a resistance in order to go against Doom, to fight Doom. And in this issue, they go to the Greenland. And, sorry, I had something in my teeth. They're there to try to, what was it? G-Man has this kind of like, mist, or like a canister that allows to clear Sand Hulk's mind. So basically they're not mindless monsters anymore. So they're trying to set little things right in each sector, and this was one of them. And there's a lot of bad things going on in a lot of sectors, but then of course the Thors show up. Mm-hmm. And they're looking for the Resistance. They want to stop the Resistance because Doom knows that they're mounting up against them. I forgot what the full name of the Resistance is called. The voice unheard. So G-Man actually ends up getting captured by the Thors so that the others could escape. And then it's left up to Medusa by Doom to actually interrogate G-Man. And let's just say the interrogation doesn't go well. I'm not going to spoil it. You should be reading this book. This is an excellent book. And then we find out that the Resistance actually is in Attilan. And it's led by none other than Black Bolt, who is now called Black Agar.
Oh, so many name changes. My goodness.
And I'm not going to talk about the dialogue that led up to it, but basically Medusa failed to get any answers out of G-Man except one word, which was the Quiet Room. And that's apparently where the Resistance base sort of is. And she sends a spy in to find out who the Resistance are and to stop them. Because Doom offers her a few things, read the book and you'll see what. But she can't fail him. She has to find the she has to find the Resistance.
I heard that. I didn't want.
That
to
was really funny. This is one of those. This is going to be one of those reviews, everybody. She has to find them in order to keep her royalty.
Yeah, she does.
She does.
Okay.
Secret Wars 2099 issue number 1. I like this book too. This book introduces for the first time ever Avengers 2099. And it was an excellent book. We get to see Captain America, we get to see Iron Man, Hawkeye, and Black Widow, as well as Hercules, who looks very...
That's cool to see Hercules on the team, really.
And it's written by Peter David.
Of course, Peter David is amazing.
He is the 2099. So they are fighting against, oh god, these crooks. They don't even really give too much into who they are, but anyway, the whole beginning of the book is them working as a team, or working as a team. Hercules being a little too Hercules, if you guys know what that is, And we do actually get to see Miguel, but he's not Miguel O'Hara. He's Miguel Stone. He is working for Alchemax. So this is a reality where...
I could believe that.
I could too. This is a reality where Miguel doesn't rebel against his father. He has a semi-relationship with his father, and he runs a piece of Alchemax, basically. And he never changed his last name to McGinnis. He's still Stone. There's a very interesting catch with Captain America. I'm not going to say what that is. Read the book and you'll find out. And, I don't know, Miguel still has the red eyes, but I don't know. There's no Spidey 2099, so... Or at least there's no mention of it yet. We'll see what happens. But it looks like we might be seeing the Defenders from 2099.
Now that would be something really cool to see.
Mm-hmm.
Well, alright, wow.
This was an excellent read. I really enjoyed it this week.
Yeah. He's actually going to be at the special edition Peter David, so maybe you can get that signed by him.
I'm bringing a lot of these books. This book I really enjoyed also, and I might bring this. Sorry about that, guys. Other camera died. We have to charge these for tomorrow, so the other camera's already charging. We are now using the secondary camera. This all should be done now in one part, because we were only 5 minutes away from having to switch out anyway. But, depending on editing out, I'm going to be safe and say the next and final book from Marvel is Old Man Logan, and this is definitely a book I'm going to get signed by Brian Michael Bendis as well. This book had a really great story, and the artwork was the only kind of drawback, and I'm going to explain. The artwork didn't exactly take me out of the story, but at the same time, there were parts where it could have been more detailed, in my opinion, and I don't know if it falls under the artist's fault or under the colorist's fault or a little of both, but there were certain parts in this book where I feel that the artwork could have flowed a little bit better, but I will still be coming back for the next issue, regardless who the artist is or who the writer is. Well, the writer is going to stay no matter what, but regardless, no matter what, let's just leave it at that. I did enjoy this book. It opens up with Old Man Logan going against this group of rebels known as the Daredevils, and they're stealing and selling kids on the market, on the black market, so to speak, and he stops them. However, he's not exactly thanked for helping the people. Instead, they're kind of now lost because this is the way things were. If you read Old Man Logan, you'll understand the dynamics of what's going on in this sector of Battle World. But I gotta say, sometimes the artwork looks gorgeous. This scene was a gorgeous scene, if I do say so myself.
It does.
Old Man Logan actually is one of the mainstays I hear in the all new, all different Marvel. And anyway, out of nowhere, this Ultron helmet or head falls from the sky, and Old Man Logan's like, where did this come from? And he's questioning it. We also get to see the baby Hulk, which for those of you that don't know, Old Man Logan's story ended after he killed Bruce Banner. He ended up saving, or instead of killing his son, he chose to save and raise Bruce's son. And actually we get to see Luke Cage's daughter all grown up here, which was awesome also. And Logan goes to Emma to try to get some answers about the Ultron helmet, and it turns out that city that she was in was attacked by the Punisher gang. Who are evil. And I'm not going to spoil what happened to Emma, but Logan, like Attilan, like Inhumans, it looks like Logan, to find answers, is going to have to leave his sector. And guess what that means? Climbing the wall and jumping into the next sector over. So it looks like, other than the Inhumans, we're going to have Old Man Logan exploring around too, which is very interesting. This is a really great book. I really would love to get the trade paperback of Old Man Logan at some point, and I probably will. It's been in my cart a few times. Unfortunately, due to money issues, I was unable to get it, but you never know. Special edition, if we come across it, I definitely will grab it. I'm looking forward to getting a lot of comics at Special Edition, I hope. It's too bad we didn't do the live show tonight. I would have told you guys what we're looking for, but we will have a haul video because there will be things.
Oh yeah, definitely. So. We always do that every year for conventions. Alright, He-Man the Attorney War issue number 6. I could just sum this whole book up, but I want to show the artwork. Basically, it's Teela telling He-Man what's going to happen 30 years after he kills Lord Hordak.
So in other words, he's going to win.
Yeah. Basically, after the whole thing happened, he abuses his powers and doesn't use it in a way that he should. Therefore, he's for himself, saying he's the only one that has the power, and the king also, and doesn't give a damn about the people. The traitor who tried to betray He-Man, or the person to try to kill He-Man, was Orko.
Orko.
Yeah, Orko, yeah. I always get that name mixed up. Orko. So, Orko actually has backup where he sends 2 people to try to kill him as well. And it was Stratos and basically someone else. I have to look for it. But I do want to show some artwork because they go to the gates, and here's Orko. Artwork's fantastically drawn. And when they bring him to the forge, who was it now? It was Stratos and Rayo Blast, who try to also kill He-Man. And He-Man just takes him out 1, 2, 3. But when She-Ra comes in the picture, you know, she defeats He-Man, but I don't want to say what happens because things turn out really bad and the future doesn't look as bright as that does. And there's a whole dialogue between He-Man and Teela, and if you want to find out what it was, read the book. But basically, He-Man breaks his sword.
While you're explaining this, keep explaining.
Yeah. And if you want to find out why he does break his sword, then you should read the book to see between Teela and He-Man, because I did review this on Comic Frontline. And Teela just said, you know, you shouldn't be He-Man as much. All you should be is just, you know, Prince Adam, so that way it doesn't happen in the future.
I find it weird that the bird in the very beginning of this issue, that reminds me of the old Sorceress.
Oh yeah, that one, yeah. I didn't actually see that.
Nobody mentioned
yeah,
that
and when he breaks the sword, now he has to save the world as just Prince Adam, and not as much as He-Man to not abuse his power.
Yeah, but will he
From what
win
I
now
read.
as Adam?
That's the only thing that I want to find out.
You know
about
that the
this
Sword
book.
of Power is going to come back at some point.
Of course it does. I mean, it does that all the time. I mean, something with Grayskull's going to happen, because, you know, Grayskull now is the big and bad one, thanks to She-Ra, who gave him all that power, and there's still Lord Hordak that has those 2 things, thanks to Evelyn that gave it to him.
Alright, rest of the books this week are Convergence's final week, week 8. And let's get to Convergence 8 before we start talking. Blue Beetle number 2 was a bit of a disappointment for me. I really enjoyed the first issue. The second issue, the Legion of Superheroes shows up. It's not the Legion of Superheroes from the Superboy and the Legion of Superheroes timeline. This is a Legion of Superheroes after Crisis on Infinite Earths, I guess. We did not see them up until this issue, and this is the only issue we're going to see them in. And obviously Superboy didn't exist in this timeline, or post Crisis on Infinite Earths, so there was no Superboy, it was just the Legion. And they want to reach a peaceful agreement. Blue Beetle, out of character, kind of wants to fight them, which I found that kind of weird, especially because the previous Blue Beetle was trying to find a peaceful accord in his world. And it's the same Blue Beetle, except a few years later. He throws down the gauntlet, but the Legion is just stronger. But he does single out 3 individuals from the Legion, which he wishes to talk to. So he uses Captain Atom and the Question as diversions to keep the Legion busy while he talks to these 3 Legionnaires. And basically, spoiler alert here, he fakes the destruction of his city to appease Telos, and in order to find out what's going on and to take the fight to Telos, basically. So this book is very connected to before Deimos even started taking over. A lot of the books are. None of these miniseries really have anything to do with anything in Convergence from issue 7 or 6 on.
This was so-so. Convergence Detective Comics issue number 2.
I feel like this week with the minis, with the times, I mean, week 4 was very weak, and week 8 is following up with that.
I know, but it's just a little... But basically, the Russian super... What's the Russian Superman name?
Superman.
The Superman?
Yeah.
Alright, well, it's the Russian version of Superman.
Red Sun, you mean? You mean
Red Sun Superman, thank you. And it's just Helena Wayne, or the Huntress, and Dick Grayson as Robin, trying to stop Superman from all this, construction. And what I've noticed in this book is, like, Superman want to talk to them, and, Robin's just saying, that, we have to kill you, or try to stop you. Actually, not kill you, try to stop you. And the Batman from Russia actually appears in this book as well. And the artwork was a little bit okay. And mind you, they thought that Batman was dead, and they're telling him, that the Batman we know was the greatest hero, at least until his death from their world. And there's just like a long dialogue between the three of them. And Batman says to Robin, there's one thing that can stop Superman and how you can defeat him. And you probably already know where this is going, because you know what one thing can defeat Superman. So as Superman finds them, the one thing that Batman gave to Superman, to Robin to stop Superman was, of course, kryptonite. And, Robin just gets rid of it, and he just says, there has to be another way. I just can't do this because the Batman did not kill. So he's taking the role of Batman, not killing him, and they just want to just talk. So Telos was saying, there will be consequences because no one killed anybody. So that all goes haywire, and then Dick Grayson becomes Batman.
Full-on Batman.
Full-on Batman, and that's it. And it's certainly not the end. So there may be high hopes there could be a Detective Comics.
Not the end. I'm sure that they'll touch on this, and we'll talk about why they might
Yeah.
touch on this story, at least Dick Grayson's side story again.
But again, it could have been a little bit, more of it.
Convergence is them, issue number 2. I love the Shazam parts. I love the character, and he was written very well. But at the same time, he was going into, I believe it was the Gotham by Gaslight Gotham. We find out that the big robot was controlled by Mr. Mind, and he went to Gotham by Gaslight in order to basically take control of all the supervillains. Shazam meets up with Batman from Gaslight U, and they have to end up fighting against all of Batman's rogues, and the Captain Marvel Jr. and Mary Marvel show up with the Bullet people. I forgot what they were called. This is the Golden Age of comics, which I am not familiar with. And they end up winning the day, and I love the ending because this was a classic Captain Marvel ending with the whole winking at the audience and flying off. But here's your Constantine sample artwork. But anyway, interesting book, but again, this was a very weak, no pun intended, when it came to these books. I feel like I got through them really quickly. Either somebody was fighting somebody else, or superheroes from two cities teamed up and fought against somebody else. It was just...
Yeah, there was that in one of them.
There's one. The next book is going to be it was an interesting fight.
Yeah. Convergence Just Society of America, issue number 2. They were going to be the Just Society for one last time because they got their wish just to be that. Because there is the robot that is, or actually named, the weapon that takes over the city, and it's up to the Just Society to save the people of Metropolis, because that's where this is all taking place, and to stop the weapon from doing all this construction. And basically, that's the whole basis.
Destruction.
Yeah, destruction. And the artwork was really great. And that's basically the whole book. Like, they're just finding a strategy of how to take down the weapon and different strategies of, what to go from there. So they work together as a team, which is what I liked about this book. And if you want to know how they took out the robot, you'll definitely have to find out for yourselves. And then they go back to just being old. And this actually is going to take place in Infinity Inc., where they want to go visit Hector in the Infinity Inc., and they're going to tell them something. If you want to find out that, stay tuned. I will explain that in Infinity Inc. when we get to it.
Which I think it's next. Oh, no, it's not.
No, that's all the way, no. It'll be in this review, but really amazing read, that book.
Crime Syndicate issue number 2. This was a fight gauntlet. One after another. You have 1 million versus the Crime Syndicate, the classic, the Golden Age Crime Syndicate. And the book starts with everybody up and about. And then one by one, a member from each side is taken out. One from the 1 million, and then one from the Crime Syndicate. And it goes back and forth all the way up until the last 2. Batman and Superman actually are not beaten by anyone. Superman from 1 million knocks himself out when he's trying to figure out what's going on the planet. Batman, during the earthquake that happened in all these books, he fell through the planet, or wherever he was. So we don't know what happened to him. Just like we figured, it turned out that Superwoman didn't end up dying. As the dome fell, she survived the execution. And the last one from the 1 million universe that survived was Wonder Woman 1 million. And the fight raged on for all of about 3 pages. And then the ending, we don't know who won because it's in the dust. Everything's shadowed. And you can't even go by the costume because her costume looks just like the 1 million or a torn Superwoman's costume. So it's over, but we don't know what side won. Or at least to me, I mean, if that's Superwoman, then good on her for, you know, just coming out of nowhere and winning. But to me, I feel like that kind of leaves a question mark.
Well, it does for the end.
Because, I mean, they both kind of have the same... Oh, no, I'm sorry. Actually, it probably is Superwoman because the 1 million Wonder Woman had gauntlets, and I don't see gauntlets on her. So I guess Superwoman won that one. Well, either way, whoever won, this was a fun, you know, back and forth until the very end, and then the twist in the ending, which led to the outcome, I guess. But this was a pretty good book. Things are getting better from here, so we'll move forward now.
Convergence, Plastic Man, and the Freedom Fighters, issue number 2. And this one I could also sum up. It does talk a little bit about the origin story. See, I can talk too. Of Plastic Man. And it goes into the years later where they talk with Silver Ghost, and Silver Ghost is actually talking about an experiment of how he can take out all the Nazis in Germany and
the Future's End.
Yeah, and well, I don't want to show that part because that's still graphic. So as the Nazis are coming and everything, which here's some artwork. You know, the Freedom Fighters, along with Plastic Man, go to fight... Well, actually, Plastic Man's with Silver Ghost. The Freedom Fighters fight them. And Silver Ghost is showing him about this whole destruction and gives him something. And Plastic Man was one step ahead of him because he knows that Silver Ghost is up to something with the blueprints, which he actually brought up about the robot blueprints, where he destroys it, and it was actually the real one, but then when he destroyed it fully, it was with Silver Ghost that was in it. So he just wasn't too happy about that after that happened. But let's just say that if it was going to be more of a story, it would have been more of like trying not to kill anyone as much as what happened with the whole Silver Ghost situation.
Action Comics number 2 focuses 90% on Power Girl. Power Girl ends up bumping into Wonder Woman, as the cover shows, from Red Sun. And the whole book is them fighting. And I'm not joking. I'm still in the fight. And also Lex Luthor betrays Stalin, so to speak, a bit. And in order to save his world, he's willing to nuke Golden Age Metropolis, which Superman does show up towards the end of the book and kind of breaks up the fight between Red Sun, Wonder Woman, and Power Girl, and then he goes to stop Lex Luthor from shooting the bomb off, and long
I
story
like
short,
the gray hair that's on the side.
well, he's old. This Superman is an older Superman.
Oh, it is?
Yeah, and then in the end, instead of fighting each other, Superman decides, we're not going to fight each other. We're going to save everybody and take the fight to whoever it is that's captured all of them. And that's how the book really ends. This definitely was a lot better than the first issue. The first issue I felt was very like, this was life and now the dome fell. So this issue picked up. There was a nice fight. I enjoyed the artwork in this book. It flowed very nicely. The end. And then it leads into Convergence number 8, which we are very quickly catching up
What
to.
time are we
We're good. We should be good for a while.
at?
Yeah, we're good for
Alright.
a while.
Convergence Wars Finest issue number 2. And in this story, is just the whole thing about Tibbet teaming up with Sir Justin, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Sir Justin. While the Vigilante and Red are in the city fighting off against Telios' army. And here's some artwork with that.
Yeah, these books are so
And-
out of order, though. They're, you know,
it's
they're talking about
just-
Telos, but Telos already was out of power, brought back on the
hold
good
on.
side.
He appears in this issue. I'm going to spoil that much. So, Tibbet just says, I have to help Sir Justin because the Vigilante and Red are doing the other stuff with that war. So, they fight together to the end while Tibbet helps Sir Justin, or he's called Sir Scrub or something. And then afterwards, as that happens, where they fight each other, Telos says, you know, that's it, I've seen enough, you're just useless to me, and here he is. You know, I thought he wasn't going to be the one that interferes when there's going to be fights and everything, but yeah, after that it just ends up with Tibbet and Sir Justin being as a team, because we don't know what happened with Vigilante and Red. They just said that we're going to fight together, and that's the last you see of them. And just Telios just...
Telos.
I thought it was Telios. Telos. Yeah.
This book, of course, is out of what's going on in Convergence because it focuses on Booster Gold, issue number 2. I loved it. I wish Dan Jurgens was at New York Comic Con Special Edition. I'd love to get a lot of books signed.
I think he's there.
We gotta make sure. If he is, I'm taking this with me, that's for sure. This book, Booster Gold, Rip's father, Booster Gold, as we saw in the last issue, comes face to face with Ted Kord. And he imparts a little bit of don't trust Max Lord so much in your future. So he kind of vaguely warns Ted about Max, but it kind of goes over Ted's head. But then out of nowhere, he starts to age. And he's like, I have to leave. And Ted's like, let me help you. But Rip and New 52 Booster, along with, I forgot her name, Michelle, are confronted by the Legion of Superheroes who now have their powers back because as long as Booster Gold or Rip are inside the dome, it negates the power of the dome. So they escape and find Booster and Rip's father Booster and take him to the vanishing point with Ted actually. Ted actually shows up too. And long story short, they do something to Booster. Read this book, it's very good, and you'll find out what. Booster wants to die. He tells Rip, let me go, don't take me to Vanishing Point, you know, this is the way it has to end. Of course, Rip disobeys him. And spoiler alert, Booster becomes the new Wave Rider. So to save his father, he does something in this book, and he comes back as the new Wave Rider. And it says to be continued in Convergence number 8, which Wave Rider does play a huge role in, which we are very quickly coming up to as soon as Mike goes through this last book.
I'll make this short. Convergence Infinity Inc. issue number 2. Basically, it's a team going up against Jonah Hex's team, if I can remember them. They're called Dogs of War, and you know, they're just fighting off against them. And Jonah Hex is the All-Star Western, just to point out there for those who didn't read All-Star Western in that. So they're helping Star get out of this, and it's just a whole big riot. Even the people are involved because they think that the Infinity Inc. is the invaders, which they're not, because they're trying to save the world and everything. And they were going to team up in the last issue, but then Jonah Hex says, we don't team up, we're just here to fight you because that's what the whole competition is for. So they save Jonah Hex after this whole explosion. We get a little bit of a backstory with his memory and stuff like that. So then, after a while, when everything just gets done, it looked like they didn't accomplish anything, but the only thing they did accomplish was being a team. So Dr. Fate comes in this, from what we saw from Just Society that want to talk to him, and they said that, you know, we're getting old, so instead of just saying we're quitting, we're retiring and giving you the title of being Just Society of America, or the new Just Society of America. Mm-hmm. And Star says, as long as we work as a team like we did, we'll have no problem, and the world will always be safe, and that's an honor that they got from the Just Society of America.
Alright, now I don't want to run through this for 3 minutes, so Mike, just really quickly hit the button, and we'll go again, and then we'll conclude this week, because we were thrown off. Go ahead.
Oh, okay.
We were thrown off by the camera dying, so I just want to make sure I have enough time to talk about the last book of the week, which is Convergence 8, so just give us 1 second, and we will finish. Okay, and now we are at Convergence issue number 8, the final issue. What was this entire story? What was the purpose of Convergence? You know, was there any reasoning for Convergence? And yes, there was. So, Parallax killed Deimos, who controlled time and space, and now everything's unraveling. And that's when Wave Rider shows up. But this isn't the Wave Rider that we saw in Booster Gold. This is the classic Wave Rider, so I don't know why Booster Gold said it was to be continued in Convergence, unless the artist didn't know, like they didn't communicate well enough to say, hey, this is actually the Booster Gold that just died, Wave Rider. But anyway, Wave Rider says, in order to save the multiverse, we have to free Brainiac, because he's the only one with the ability to do it. So everybody frees Brainiac, and then of course Brainiac decides, well, I'm going to destroy all of you instead. And then that's where Wave Rider, or Telos, reaches out to him and snaps him into reason, so to speak. And Brainiac realizes if the multiverse is destroyed, then his home planet of Kahlua also is destroyed. So Brainiac says, okay, you know what? I'm going to help you guys save reality after all. He retakes control of Telos, the planet Telos, and basically he has to send all of the superheroes that died during Crisis on Infinite Earth back to their times in order for them to die. Supergirl. Parallax chooses to go. Flash, Barry Allen goes. And Superman, with Lois and Baby, actually chooses to go also to save the multiverse. And, well, we get a wonderful splash page of the multiverse. And now, Crisis on Infinite Earths has been undone. And we actually get to see more Earths on this page, which shows the other Earths. So there's 2 pages of the planets. And then Brainiac takes leave, and Telos actually chooses to leave the planet also in order to find his family and go back to his planet. So the multiverse is now open again. But what about Earth 2? Well, the planet that Brainiac and or Telos once controlled now becomes a full-fledged new Earth. And guess where it is? In the exact same dimension as Earth 2. So Earth 2 now officially has its own new, brand spanking new Earth. And the refugees, Green Lantern finds the refugees and sends them basically home. And that's where the book ends. So what did we get from Convergence? Other than a handful of really great miniseries, a few good miniseries, and a lot of miniseries, Convergence did one thing, and it all happened in just this issue. It reopened the multiverse, which was already starting to open anyway through Multiversity, except now it gives writers the freedom to write stories from any point in time, from the Golden Age to pre-Crisis on Infinite Earths to post-Crisis on Infinite Earths to pre-New 52 to Flashpoint, New 52, anywhere, even the Crime Syndicate's world. Any world is open to writers that are willing to tell a tale from or about them. Which I'm hoping we get a pre-New 52 Superman ongoing title. Bizarro Batmite are two titles that are flowing out of, Convergence. We are guaranteed during the fall to be seeing more new series coming out of the multiverse. Obviously, Convergence happened as DC moved out of New York. DC is now fully moved. But I guess this whole Convergence or opening of the multiverse won't take full effect until after summer, which we are going into Divergence now, which is going to span, I believe, at least 2 months. So then we have August, which is going to continue the Divergence books, and then we're going to go into September, October, and maybe that's where we'll get into some more multiverse. Let's not forget also that Justice League 41, which is out this week, delves into Darkseid versus the Anti-Monitor, and the Anti-Monitor is the one that did Crisis on Infinite Earths. So now we might be facing a minor, smaller crisis that's going to be going on in Justice League. Justice League of America also takes place at a different point in time, I believe, in the New 52 universe. New 52 is officially abolished. There is no more New 52.
Okay.
We're done. We won't see it anymore. So I'm excited to see what's coming next. However, I hope we do get a little bit of a synopsis if we get any new ongoing series from different points in time. Because as you guys saw, there was 2 Teen Titan books. There was 2 different Blue Beetle books. One with him in Justice League and one with him as just Blue Beetle. I hope we get a Booster Gold series, honestly, at this point. Justice Earth 2 is going to be focusing on the Earth 2 superheroes, which I like that. We've got lots to look forward to in the future from Convergence. So I'm excited. Not with Convergence, because of Convergence with DC. So I'm excited to see what happens next. I'm really not too happy about going back into the new DC universe, which is the New 52 universe, or Earth whatever. I guess it's called Earth Prime, as Jay said during the live show. Because I really am not attuned to that Superman. And a lot of people who read Superman in Convergence now understand, that didn't read Superman before, now understand why I'm not a fan of the New 52 Superman and why I really love the pre-New 52 Superman. So I'm hoping we get an ongoing series of the pre-New 52 Superman at some point from DC Comics. We really need it. We need a few pre-New 52 superheroes to come back as ongoing series, that for sure. I guess we'll just have to, like I said, wait it out, see what happens, and go from there. So that's it for this review, guys. As always, don't forget to check out Comic-Related, Comic Frontline, Zone 4 Podcast, and Frontline Gaming Zone. Together, we are your #1 source for comic-related news, reviews, and a whole bunch more. Haul video should be up after we get back from Special Edition tomorrow, and it should be posted just as fast as we record it. So until then, guys, take care, keep reading, keep collecting, and we'll see you guys really soon, literally, in the next video.
Later, everybody.